I'm Florence, and I lost a house because my own sister helpfully held my $1.4 million down payment. Then the money vanished right before closing. The worst part isn't that she did it, it's how she did it, and how close I came to being the one blamed. If you've been through something similar, share your experience in the comments. Zoom ended with a few clipped goodbyes, and my calendar filled the screen. Closing, 2 p.m., downtown Bellevue. Under it, wire cutoff, 11:30 a.m. Pacific. I rinsed my coffee mug, opened the escrow checklist, and kept clicking boxes, trying to pretend this was normal. My phone buzzed. Kate Miller, my sister. Got the down payment. Send it to me and I'll wire it over. You don't need to go to the bank. The amount sat there like a typo. $1,400,000. Stock sale, transfers, approvals, weeks of paperwork reduced to one number. Kate had always been the family's money whisperer. She spoke in certainties, and people stopped asking questions. To your account, I said. Yes, it's faster, trust me. Routing number, account number, confirm, send. The app spun, then flashed, success. Before I could lock my phone, Marisol Vega called from the escrow office. Florence, just checking in, she said. We need the wire before cutoff. After that, we can sign, but we can't close. It's handled, I said, and forwarded Kate the reminder. Kate replied, done. By noon, I was in the title office, handing over my ID and signing the first stack while Marisol slid sticky tabs from page to page. She checked her screen, clicked, then paused. I'm not seeing the wire. It's coming, I said, already dialing. In the hallway, Kate answered on the second ring. They don't have it, I said. Bank is lagging, she said. Keep signing. It'll hit any minute. Then she added, like it was nothing, we're just waiting for the fund to confirm. Fund, I said. I mean the bank, she snapped, then softened. Same thing. Don't worry. A photo landed in my texts. Wire confirmation. The timestamp was in a different time zone, and the usual reference fields were missing. Marisol looked at my phone for 3 seconds. No reference number, no IMAD, she said. This can't be traced. My house is sponsored by the Bank of Big Sister, I told Marisol, and she sighed. She walked me back to the conference room door like a bouncer escorting someone who hadn't even started a fight. Without the wire, we cannot close, she said. Seller can cancel if we miss today. My pen stayed in my hand as I stood up, because apparently I'd become the kind of person who clutches office supplies during emotional events. Out in the parking lot, I called my bank's wire support line. The automated system asked if this was fraud. I hit yes because choosing no felt optimistic. While I waited on hold, I texted Kate, send the IMAD now. Marisol pushed through the glass door, phone raised. Florence, she called. Seller's attorney just emailed. They're preparing to cancel. The line clicked alive. This is wire support, the rep said. Please tell me my sister wired my down payment, I said. Ma'am, he replied, we don't see any wire leaving that account. Marisol's voice followed me to the driver's seat while the wire support rep kept repeating the same line. Ma'am, there's no outgoing wire from that account. From Kate's account, I said, not mine. Correct. The call ended, and my thumb hit redial on my sister's number like it was a slot machine that owed me money. Kate picked up with a breathy laugh. See, I told you it would be fine. It's not fine, I said. They're canceling. Where is the wire? You're spiraling, she said. Escrow people love to act dramatic. They probably typed one digit wrong. Send me the receipt, the IMAD, anything with a reference number. A pause. Then her tone slid into wounded. Florence, you're talking to me like I'm a criminal. That would be easier, I said. Paperwork exists for criminals. Marisol texted while Kate stayed on the line. 5 p.m., hard stop today. Seller attorney will issue cancellation if funds not received. I forwarded the text to Kate. Stop forwarding me threats, she snapped. I'm handling it. My laptop chimed from the passenger seat. A meeting reminder. Quarterly roadmap review, the kind of call where executives ask for certainty and you pretend your life isn't on fire. The mic button stayed muted while I joined. My manager, Jason, started talking about launch dates. A minute later, I typed in chat, "Stepping out for a banking issue. Back soon. No details." The polite version of screaming. While the meeting rolled on, my phone lit up again. Mom. "Hi," I said, already bracing. "Kate called me," she said. "She's in tears. What is going on?" "There's no wire," I said. "The down payment never reached escrow." "Your sister would never hurt you," Mom replied, like she was reading from a script. "Maybe you're misunderstanding something. Don't make this ugly." "Ugly is losing the house," I said. "Florence, don't talk that way. Your tone." "My tone doesn't move money," I said, and ended the call before the word guilt could find a place to land. Marisol called next, businesslike as ever. "I pulled the image Kate sent," she said. "It's not the standard confirmation for your bank. It's missing required fields. No IMAD, no Fed reference, nothing we can use to trace." "So it's fake," I said. "I'm saying it's not proof," Marisol replied. "We need documentation. Do not argue with her. Get everything in writing. Email requests. If she calls, follow up by email." On the meeting, Jason asked if I could speak to a timeline risk. I unmuted for 10 seconds. "Still on track," I said. "I'll send notes after." And then I muted again and opened the Notes app, because apparently the only thing I trusted at that moment was a timestamp. The title wrote itself, "Things That Are Lagging Today." First bullet, Kate's conscience. Second bullet, the universe. A new email went to Kate, subject line as dry as a tax form. "Wire receipt requested, urgent." In the body, "Please send the wire receipt IMAD/OMAD and the name of the bank representative who processed the transfer. Escrow deadline is 5 p.m. today." Within 2 minutes, a voice note arrived instead of an answer. Kate's voice filled the car, long and breathy, talking around the edges of the question. "Okay, listen, I'm doing everything I can. You don't understand how these systems work. You're being intense. I had to move some things around for a minute, but it's still your money. I'm your sister." No numbers, no confirmation, just mood. Marisol texted again. "Seller will consider extension to tomorrow if lender confirms source of funds. Need proof now." My phone rang immediately after. Marisol. "Good news, kind of," she said. "Seller agreed to extend until 10 a.m. tomorrow, only if your lender verifies the funds are legitimate and on the way. Otherwise, they sign with the backup offer." A new message from Kate popped up on top of everything. "Tomorrow I'll come talk to the whole family." My laptop chimed again, and Jason said, "Florence?" as if a missing wire was a glitch. Jason's question floated from my laptop speakers while my thumb hovered over Kate's last message. Instead of answering, I typed, "Stepping out, bank issue," and left the meeting. By 8:05 the next morning, I was at my lender's branch in Bellevue with Marisol's escrow timeline folded in my purse and my phone open to the transfer screen. The lobby doors had barely unlocked. A banker named Ryan pulled up my file and waited. "I need a wire trace," I said. "My closing is this morning." He asked for the amount, the date, the names. His keyboard clicked, then stopped. "Okay," he said. "The receiving account isn't escrow." "That's impossible," I said. "It has to be escrow." "It isn't," Ryan repeated, eyes on the monitor. "It went to Evergreen Ridge, LLC." "Print it," I said. 2 pages slid across the desk. Line 1. My $1.4 million transfer to Kate's personal account. Line 2. A same-day move from her account to Evergreen Ridge, LLC, tagged investment sweep. No title company, no escrow, no anything that ended with me getting keys. Ryan pointed at the second line. "This looks like a sweep into an investment account," he said. "Can you reverse it?" I asked. "Not without the account holder," he said, "but I can note this as disputed and generate a trace reference. Do you want that number?" He wrote the reference on a sticky note. My phone buzzed. "Mom. Kate says you're accusing her of stealing. Please stop." Kate, right after. You gave me authority to handle this. Now you're making me look crazy to professionals." I held the printout up like it might start explaining itself. Marisol answered when I called. "Do you have proof of where the money went?" she asked. "I have a name," I said. "Evergreen Ridge, LLC, and it wasn't escrow." "Email me the pages," she said. "Don't argue with her. Get documents." A group text popped up from relatives who usually only texted to RSVP. Aunt: "Don't drag the family into legal drama." Cousin: "Kate said she's covering a debt for your mom." Other cousin: "You always need control." No response went back. The car started, and 10 minutes later I was in front of Kate's townhouse, the one close enough that she could have driven to escrow herself if she'd wanted to. The door opened before I knocked. "Wow," Kate said. "You look intense." "Show me where the money is," I said. She stepped aside and led me to her kitchen table. A stack of papers was already waiting, neatly tabbed like she'd planned for company. "Here," she said, tapping the top page, "your confirmation." It wasn't a wire receipt. It was an investment confirmation. Different logo, different language, and that same odd timestamp from the image she'd texted yesterday. "This is what you sent me," I said. "It proves I did it," she said. "You're just panicking." "You're the first person I've met who can turn a down payment into down the drain and still call herself risk management," I said, not raising my voice. Her face tightened. She flipped to another sheet and pushed it toward me. "Authorization," she said. "Your signature." My name was there, but the loops didn't match mine. The pressure looked copied, not written. "That isn't my signature," I said. Kate leaned back and crossed her arms, suddenly calm. "Listen," she said. "If you tell anyone you didn't approve this, they'll look at you. They'll investigate your funds, and you know how that ends." "You mean they'll ask questions?" I said. "I mean they'll treat you like the problem," she said. "You'll lose more than a house." My phone buzzed again. "Marisol, need the documents now. Seller's attorney is escalating." I snapped photos of the bank printout and the authorization, then pushed my chair back. "Don't," Kate said, stepping toward the doorway. "Move," I said, and walked around her. Outside, my hands shook hard enough to blur the screen. I called Marisol while my email app spun, attaching the photos. "Marisol, I'm sending everything," I said. Her reply came as a text while my finger hovered over send. "Seller is drafting a notice of cancellation right now." I hit send. The email whooshed out, and my phone immediately started stacking alerts like it was trying to win a prize. Marisol replied first. "Got it. I'm forwarding to escrow supervision and the seller's attorney." A minute later, an automated message from the title company hit my inbox with a subject line that looked like a diagnosis. "Cancellation notice issued." Marisol called, and her voice stayed controlled, the way people sound when they've said the same bad sentence 1,000 times. "Florence, they issued the notice of cancellation," she said. "So it's done," I said. "It's done for this contract," she said. "I'm sorry." My realtor Dan texted right after, "Call me ASAP." His tone had already changed from excited to careful. When he picked up, he didn't waste time. "They're taking the backup offer," Dan said. "They signed this morning." "What about the extension to 10?" I asked. "They gave it," he said. "We didn't meet it." Another email arrived, this one from my lender. No greeting, no softness, just policy language. "Your file is under review due to irregular transfer activity. Please do not initiate additional large transfers until further notice." I called the number in the signature and got routed through 2 departments before a woman finally answered. "This is compliance," she said. "My closing just got canceled," I said. "My sister sent my down payment somewhere else. I have documentation." "We received your note," she said. "Your file is under review. You'll be contacted with next steps." "Am I being accused of something?" I asked. "I can't discuss findings," she said. "Please wait for the reviewer." That line ended the call without hanging up. It just stopped, like the conversation had reached its allowed character limit. More emails came in, smaller but sharp. appraisal invoice, inspection fee, lock extension charge, even though the rate had never made it to a closing table. Each one had a due date, like a dare. Dan sent a final message. They're scheduling movers. The sign is coming down. I stared at it until the screen dimmed, then tapped it back on, just to confirm the house was leaving in real time. Kate didn't text. She sent an email to Mom, Dad, and a handful of relatives who rarely wrote to me unless there was a wedding or a funeral. The subject line was Family Update. Mom forwarded it with a single note, "Please read." Kate's message was long, structured, and written like she'd asked someone to proofread it. Florence authorized me to place the funds in a short-term investment vehicle to protect our family from an urgent obligation. She is now panicking and attempting to blame me because her closing did not go as planned. I did not steal anything. I acted with her consent. Attached was the same authorization page from her kitchen table, the one with a signature that looked like mine if you squinted and didn't care about facts. Mom called immediately. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. "I didn't sign that," I said. "Kate said you did," Mom replied, "and now you're threatening her." "I asked for a wire receipt," I said. She sent a fake confirmation and a fake signature. "Florence," Mom said, and my name came out like a warning. "Don't turn this into a legal thing. Families don't do that." The phone went silent on my end for a second, not because I'd run out of words, but because anything I said would become another exhibit in Kate's version of me. Marisol called again before Mom could. "Stop taking calls from her," Marisol said. "Stop explaining. She's building a story where you look unstable." "She already did," I said. "She's not just taking money," Marisol said. "She's setting you up to be too scared to push back. From now on, email only. Documents only. Get counsel." Dan texted one more time. "Seller's attorney asked if you're contesting the cancellation. I told him you're consulting." A car door slammed somewhere nearby. I hadn't moved, but time had. The parking lot around the title office filled and emptied, and I kept collecting PDFs like they were life rafts. By early afternoon, the address Marisol had given me was pulled up on my navigation app, a small civil firm in Bellevue. Nothing fancy, just a nameplate and a row of reserved spaces. The engine stayed running while I sat there, phone in hand, lawyer's number ready. Kate's text arrived as if she could see the screen. "Don't force me, Florence. I have more of your stuff than you think." My finger settled on the call button, and the phone began to ring. It stopped, and a woman answered. "Patel and Green, this is Alyssa Patel." "My name is Florence Pugh. I need a civil attorney, today." "Are you in Bellevue?" "Yes." "Come up. Bring whatever you have." Her office was close enough that the car barely warmed up before I parked. The receptionist handed over a clipboard, then directed me to a small room with a table that had seen a lot of bad news. Alyssa walked in with a legal pad and a laptop, nodded once, and sat without asking me to breathe. "Start at the beginning," she said. A folder landed on the table. Printed wire trace, the fake confirmation photo, the notice of cancellation, screenshots of Kate's texts, Marisol's timeline, the family email Kate wrote like a press release. Alyssa flipped through the pages, not rushing, not reacting. She paused on the authorization sheet and held it at an angle. "Did you sign this?" "No." "Did you ever give her permission in writing to invest your down payment?" "No." "Did you send the money to her personal account?" "Yes." She underlined something on her pad. "Okay," she said. "That's the part we work with." My phone buzzed again. Mom, twice. I silenced it and slid the phone face down. Alyssa tapped the notice of cancellation. "This deal is canceled," she said. "Sometimes there's a cure period, but it depends on the contract and the seller's patience. Your bigger issue is recovering the funds and protecting you from being painted as the source of irregular activity." Marisol's name came up on Alyssa's screen from an email chain. "Your escrow officer is doing you a favor," Alyssa said. "She's treating this like documentation, not drama." The word drama would have been funny if it hadn't cost 7 figures. Alyssa pushed the pages back toward me. "Tell me why you routed this through your sister," she said. The simplest answer would have been convenience. The real answer sat in the choices leading up to it. Letting Kate handle things because pushing back always turned into a family hearing. Saying less because saying more meant conflict. Pretending silence was maturity when it was really avoidance with better branding. "She's always been the one everyone trusts," I said, and I didn't want to fight. Alyssa didn't nod like she agreed. She wrote it down like it was evidence. "She also contacted your family first," Alyssa said, lifting Kate's email. "That's not random. That's controlling the narrative." A call came through from Marisol, and I put it on speaker. "Florence, I got the wire trace images," Marisol said. "Seller's attorney asked what position you're taking. They're done waiting. Also, your lender is going to ask where the money went and why." "Tell me who I should talk to," Elisa said, leaning closer. Marisol didn't hesitate. "Lender fraud or compliance," she said. "Escrow supervisor, seller's attorney, and everything in writing. No phone calls with Kate." Elisa clicked her pen. "Marisol, can you email me the escrow file number and the cancellation notice?" she asked. "Sending now," Marisol said. "Florence, you need 3 categories of proof. 1, the wire trace details, IMAD or whatever reference they can provide. 2, anything tying Evergreen Ridge LLC to Kate. 3, a statement from Kate that admits she moved the money, even a voice note. Kate had given plenty of words. She just avoided numbers like they were contagious." After the call ended, Alyssa turned her laptop toward me. "Options," she said. "We can send a demand letter today. It sets a deadline, cites your evidence, and puts her on notice that we'll file a civil claim if she doesn't return the funds. We can also mention that you may report suspected fraud to the lender and relevant agencies. That's leverage, but it's not a bluff. If we write it, you must be willing to follow through." "And the family?" I asked. Alyssa's expression didn't change. "They'll call you heartless," she said. "That doesn't make you wrong." The phone face down on the table vibrated again, as if it had something helpful to add. It didn't. The choice sat right in front of me. Keep arguing in circles, or stop arguing at all, and start moving paper to the people who can't be guilt-tripped. "Do it," I said. Alyssa nodded once. "Then we work clean," she said. "No threats over text, no visits to her house, no explaining yourself to relatives." Outside, back in the car, the laptop opened on my knees. One folder appeared on the desktop, plain and ugly. Down payment. Subfolders followed. Wiretrace, LLC. Messages. Contract. The cursor blinked next to the seller's attorney's name, and the email went out before my hand could shake. Another message followed to the lender's compliance address Marisol had given me, with Alyssa Patel copied, the wire trace attached, and a subject line that sounded like a lab report. "Funds misrouted. Request for review." Alyssa replied first. "Florence, I pulled public records on Evergreen Ridge LLC." A PDF opened on my screen. The company wasn't new. It had been formed months earlier with a registered agent service and a business address that matched a mailbox store strip mall, not an office. Under managers, 2 names sat in plain text, Catherine Miller and Derek Haynes. Derek wasn't family. Derek was the guy Kate had been maybe moving in with, depending on who asked. Alyssa called. "That LLC is a container," she said. "It's not an impulse purchase. It existed before your closing date. She didn't create it overnight." Marisol's earlier question came back in a different shape. That weird timestamp on the confirmation photo, the thing Kate had blurted in the hallway. Alyssa kept going. "This looks like a brokerage sweep," she said. "The confirmation you received is likely from an investment platform, not a wire system. Different timestamps, different reference fields. It's not wrong to them. It's just not a wire receipt." My lender emailed while Alyssa spoke. "Action required. Account review. Provide source of funds and purpose of transfer." The message asked for statements, documentation for the stock sale, and a written explanation of why the funds were sent to a third party. It also instructed me not to move more money until the review concluded. No timeline, no reassurance, just rules. Alyssa's voice stayed steady. "This is where people get trapped," she said. "If you talk off the cuff, it can be twisted. Everything goes through me. Everything is documented." My phone started vibrating again. Mom. Then Mom again. Then a text from an aunt. "Stop escalating." Then Kate, finally, in a longer message that read like she'd practiced. "You're wrecking my name over a misunderstanding. You authorized me. You're doing this because you lost the house and need someone to blame." Another email came in, this time from a generic bank address forwarded from Mom. Subject: concern regarding Florence Pugh's allegations. Kate had written to someone at the bank, maybe compliance, maybe a customer service executive, claiming the transfer was a family arrangement and that I was retracting permission due to emotional distress related to a canceled purchase. She attached the same authorization page. Alyssa asked for it. "Forward that to me," she said. "It's already in the folder," I said, and sent it. Alyssa read in silence for a few seconds. "She's trying to frame this as consent," she said. "That's why the document exists. It's a shield." A new email arrived from Kate, direct to me this time. "That confirmation is valid. You just didn't read it. Don't pretend you don't understand investments." Alyssa exhaled once, controlled. "She's pushing you into a debate," she said. "We're not debating. We're proving." Marisol texted a short update. "Seller's attorney wants a position statement. They're not reinstating the contract without verified funds." Alyssa answered without asking. "Tell them you're pursuing recovery and cooperating with lender review," she said. "No promises, no negotiation about reinstatement unless the seller initiates." Another PDF landed in my inbox, pulled by Alyssa from a financial disclosure page linked to the investment platform's terms. It referenced margin lending and liquidations in plain language. Derek's name appeared again, tied to an account number ending in the same 4 digits as a screenshot from Kate's confirmation. Alyssa didn't dramatize it. "This is a margin situation," she said. "When an account drops, they demand cash fast. They call it a margin call. If she didn't meet it, they would liquidate positions. That creates panic, and people do stupid things quickly." The message from Kate, "We're waiting for the fund to confirm," stopped sounding like a slip. It sounded like a countdown. My phone lit up with Mom again. "Pick up," Alyssa said. "Put her on speaker. I'll listen." I answered. "Florence," Mom said, voice tight. "Kate says you're trying to ruin her. She says this was to protect us." "Mom, I can't discuss it with you," I said. "What does that mean?" she demanded. "Are you suing your sister?" Alyssa's hand lifted slightly, a stop sign. "I can't talk about it," I repeated. "A lawyer is handling communication." Mom started to speak, and I ended the call. A text from Alyssa arrived immediately after. They scheduled a call with lender compliance this afternoon. At the same time, Mom called again, and both lines stacked on my screen. My thumb hovered for one beat. Compliance answered on the second ring, but Alyssa Patel had already turned it into a group call. The invite listed Trent Morgan from Lender Compliance, a fraud analyst, Marisol Vega from Escrow, Dana Klein for the seller, and me. "Ms. Pugh," Trent said, "we're recording." "Alyssa Patel," my attorney said. "I'll speak when needed." "Marisol Vega," Marisol added. "Escrow file is referenced in the email." Dana's voice was crisp. "Seller's position is cancellation unless funds are verified," she said. Trent kept it simple. "Send one packet," he said. "One timeline, one set of exhibits." Alyssa nodded at my screen. The folder was ready, and my hands finally had something useful to do. "Sending," I said. The attachment name filled the thread. family_escrow_final_final.pdf. "I'll let the documents argue for me," I said, and Marisol made a low, tired laugh. Trent opened it. "Walk me through the timeline," he said. Marisol did like she was reading policy. Closing was 2 p.m., she said. Wire cutoff was 11:30 a.m. No incoming wire to escrow. Client provided an image called wire confirmation that lacked an IMAD or Fed reference. We could not trace it. Dana jumped in. Seller granted an extension to 10 a.m., she said. No funds arrived. backup offer was accepted. Trent asked about the fund's path. Alyssa answered. Florence transferred $1.4 million to her sister, Catherine Miller, based on a representation that Ms. Miller would wire to escrow, she said. The trace shows Ms. Miller moved the funds to Evergreen Ridge LLC the same day. The fraud analyst spoke for the first time. Evergreen Ridge LLC is a business account, she said, not a title company. Correct, Marisol said. A new line beeped. This is Catherine Miller, Kate said. I'm on the call now. Trent didn't react. Ms. Miller, did you wire funds to escrow? He asked. Kate went straight to feelings. Florence authorized me, she said. She agreed to a short-term investment. Now she's embarrassed and trying to pin it on me. Alyssa's voice stayed flat. Do you have a wire receipt to escrow? She asked. I have authorization, Kate said. Signed, dated. Dana asked the next question. Is any money currently sitting with escrow? She said. No, Marisol said. We have received nothing. Trent asked for identifiers again. IMAD, OMAD, Fed reference, he said. Alyssa sent a follow-up email mid-call, forwarding the trace reference and the originating IMAD into Ms. Miller's account, she said, also forwarding the platform metadata on the image she sent. Kate cut in. That confirmation is valid, she said. Florence didn't read it, the fraud analyst replied. It's valid for an investment portal, she said. It's not a wire receipt. The timestamp and headers match a platform record, not a FedWire confirmation. Trent's tone shifted from evaluating me to evaluating her. Ms. Miller, why does your confirmation have no wire reference? He asked. Kate didn't answer the question. Because you don't understand how modern banking works, she snapped. Trent asked me one direct thing. Ms. Pugh, when did you first learn the name Evergreen Ridge LLC? He said. My phone was on speaker already. Kate's voice note played, the one she sent after I asked for receipts. Okay, listen, Kate said in the recording. I had to move some things around for a minute. Evergreen Ridge will confirm, and I'll put it back tomorrow. Silence. Dana spoke first. That's an admission the funds were diverted, she said. Trent cleared his throat. Our review will shift, he said. Ms. Pugh, your account remains on hold for source documentation, but this now appears to be third-party misuse. We will flag Ms. Miller and Evergreen Ridge LLC. Kate's voice sharpened. You can't do that, she said. Alyssa answered. Watch us, she said. Then return the money. Dana wrapped it up. Seller's cancellation stands, she said. Any contractual damages will be pursued. Escrow will document non-receipt. After the call, Alyssa forwarded a demand letter addressed to Kate and Evergreen Ridge LLC with the amount, the deadline, and the next step if she didn't comply. My phone buzzed almost immediately. Okay, Kate texted. How much time do you want? The banking app asked for a recipient, so I pasted Alyssa's trust account details and hit save. I didn't send $1. I just wanted the route ready, like setting out a fire extinguisher before the smoke. Kate called. I let it ring once, then answered, because Alyssa had told me to keep communication documented. Florence, tell me a number. Return my money by noon tomorrow. You're making this a federal case. You made it a federal wire. She hung up without saying goodbye, which was new for her. By evening, Alyssa emailed the demand letter to Kate, Derek Haynes, and Evergreen Ridge LLC. It listed the full amount, the wire trace reference, and a deadline that didn't care about our childhood. The next morning, my lender released my hold after I uploaded stock sale statements, pay stubs, and Alyssa's cover note. The email said, "Review resolved," like it was a parking ticket. Kate's first repayment hit 2 days later, not from her personal account, but from Evergreen Ridge LLC. My phone showed the deposit while I was microwaving leftovers, and I watched the numbers change before the food stopped rotating. Alyssa texted right after, "Keep every confirmation. Do not respond to apology attempts." Marisol sent one final message from escrow. File closed, cancellation recorded. Take care of yourself. She didn't add a smiley face. Professionals in my life had better boundaries than my family. At Mom's house that weekend, nobody said the word LLC. They said misunderstanding and stress. Kate arrived late, eyes dry, carrying a folder like she was still the one doing everyone a favor. Mom pulled me aside. "Can you just let it go once the money is back?" "I'm letting her go." Kate cornered me near the sink. "I did what I had to do." "You did what you wanted to do." "I'm paying you back." "Because you got caught." The room went still. A cousin stared at the floor. Mom's lips pressed together, and for the first time, she didn't rush to translate Kate's behavior into something softer. Over the next month, payments arrived in uneven chunks. Alyssa negotiated a written repayment schedule and a stipulation that Kate wouldn't contact me except through counsel. Kate signed, Derek's name nowhere on the page. The final installment came as a cashier's check at Alyssa's office. Kate sat across the table, hands shaking slightly as she endorsed it. Her nails were bitten down, and the expensive watch she loved wasn't on her wrist. Alyssa slid the receipt toward her. "Sign here." Kate whispered, "Are you happy now?" Alyssa said, "I'm paid. She's protected." I said, "That's the point." Back in my apartment, I changed every password that had ever shared a route with my birthday. Bank login, email, cloud storage, even the streaming service Kate used when she visited. Two-factor authentication went on everything. I called my carrier and got a new number. My bank offered a trusted contact feature. Kate's name had been sitting there from years ago. I deleted it, then asked the rep to note that no one but me could initiate transfers. The rep didn't ask why. The Wi-Fi network name used to be something bland. I renamed it Not a Family Account and hit save. It felt petty, which meant it also felt accurate. Work kept moving. Jason asked if I could present the roadmap again, and I did, from the same table where Alyssa's folders still sat open. Dan emailed a new listing. I archived it without opening photos. That night, a push notification popped up. Deposit posted, balance updated. The number looked real again, even if the house was gone. Kate's contact sat at the top of my recent calls, stubborn as ever. I opened her info card, scrolled past the shared photos, the old emergency contact line, the birthday reminder I'd never changed. At the bottom was the option, in plain text, block this caller. Confirmation slid up on the screen. Block contact? My finger hovered over block, then pressed down as another repayment line refreshed beneath the balance, with the date, the memo field blank, and the final proof that she could move money fast when it helped her at all.